Hello everyone, good morning. My name is Afsan and I will be your instructor for this whole Python course. Okay. Now the Python course are divided in two parts. The first part that is for 6 to 8 hours and that is basics of Python. Okay. So this course is taken so that everyone is on the same page. And then after 8 hours, okay, then we will start with the main Python. So in this 8 hours or 6 hours that we have, 6 to 8 hours, whatever hours we will take, we will try to understand what is Python, how Python works, what do you mean by programming language, what is Anaconda, what is Jupyter Notebook, everything. Okay, so let me share my screen. So people who have joined recently, just a glimpse. Okay, so the first thing that you require is a Jupyter Notebook. Okay, and now the Jupyter Notebook comes with the Anaconda software. So whenever you want to play with Anaconda or Jupyter Notebook, you have to download a software first. Okay, so this is for the new people who have joined today. So what you can do is in the WhatsApp group, Abhishek has forwarded you the link. You can either follow that link or you can just follow this link also. Anaconda individual edition. Click here. Okay, and when you scroll down, no, this is not a website. So yeah. So once you click here, I will copy this and I will paste in the chat box screen, guys. So what you have to do is very simple. Depending on which OS you are using, that is operating system, that is Windows, Apple, or Linux. Depending on which one you are using, you have to click on that OS and you have to simply install it. Okay, simply install it, and when you install it, and when the file gets downloaded in your laptop, you have to just do next. That's it. Okay, whatever option is selected, let it be selected. Don't select anything of your choice. Just keep on pressing next, and click on finish at the end. That's the only step, guys, that you have to do. That's it. So everyone, please download this if you have not downloaded. So how many of you have joined today? Can you please tell in the chat screen box? Today, in the sense, today is the first class. Okay. So Kirtana and Ranjan, please download the software. If you haven't, if you have already done it, good, well, good. Okay. Okay. Now the second step is, if you have downloaded it, okay, just a quick revision. If you want to download, sorry, if you have downloaded the software, you have to open the software. Okay, and it's very simple. You can whichever software you are using, let it be Windows or let it be Mac OS or let it be anything. In your Windows search or Mac search or Linux search, just search for Anaconda Navigator. Just search for Anaconda Navigator. So this is for Ranjan and Kirtana. Okay. So have you downloaded the software? Okay, great. What about Kirtana? So once you download the software, now this is the thing that you can see on your screen. Okay, so when you search Anaconda Navigator, you will see a green color icon, and this is what you can see on the screen. Okay, so what you have to do is you have to just look for Jupyter Notebook. Where my cursor is moving right now, you have to look for that software. Okay, and just click on launch button. Okay, so once you click on launch button, something like this will be open in your browser. Something like this will open in your browser. So basically, Jupyter Notebook is a web browser application that we are using. Okay, if you so if something like this gets open, if you want to create a new folder here, so what you can do is on the right hand side, you have an option called as new. You have to just click on that new option and click on folder. Okay, once you click on folder, so I will rename this. Sorry. Yeah. Now, once this untitled folder is there, so remember, okay, whenever you try to create a folder, it will create by with a basic by default name called as untitled folder. So if you have a very large files, just search alphabetical order that where untitled folder is. Once you get the folder, click on this check mark. Click on this check mark so that we can rename the folder of our choice. Okay. So when you click on this check mark and click on rename. Once you click on rename, you can write anything of your choice here. So what I will be doing, I will be doing 3rd April. Okay, because this 6 to 8 hours will be your special class, and afterwards your main Python class will be starting. Okay, so for a timing, what we are doing is we will study only a very basics of Python so that everyone is on the same page. Now, once you have created a folder and you want to go inside that folder, so just click on this folder that you have. So once you click on this folder, you will see something like this. The notebook list is empty because yes, we have created a folder and that folder inside it is empty because we have not created anything, right? So it will be empty folder. That's exactly what we can see here. Ranjan and Kirtana and everyone else till here is clear. For everyone, it is a small revision. For Kirtana and Ranjan, it's a new thing. So I hope they are also following with us. Okay. Now, once you have created a folder, now we want something where we can write a Python code. Correct? Where we can write a Python code. So very simple. You have to again click on new and click on Python 3. As soon as you click on new and Python 3, you will notice that one more new window will open. See? And you will see something like this. Now, this place is called as Jupyter Notebook. Okay, this is the place where you can write a Python code. Okay, where you can write a Python code. Now, this is for the people who have attended my last lecture. Okay, so my question is very simple. How many kinds of cells are there? There are 2 types of cells, correct? Can you name them? Everyone, can you name them? There is something called as a markdown shell. Now what I'm doing is I'm explaining about the Jupyter notebook. Okay, now this Jupyter notebook has two kind of cells. So this area where I'm writing the code, no, this is called as cell. Okay, this area is called as cell. This area is called as cell. Now this area can be of two types. One is markdown and one is coding shell. So in a markdown, you can write the notes slash documentation. Whereas in coding shell, we can only write a Python code. We can only write a Python code. Okay. Now, guys, how to identify whether it's a coding shell or a markdown shell? Yes. Okay. So if you see here, we have something called as IN. This IN means that this is a coding shell. So you can only write a Python code here. You can only and only write a Python code. So if I do print, print is an output function which tries to print something on the screen. What something? Whatever you give inside this. For example, of sun like this, and execute it. How to execute it? Click on this run button. Click on this run button and execute. Okay, so you can see your name on the screen. So everyone else, I think it's a revision for you, and but for Kirtana and for Ranjan, it's clear. Can you give a shout out in chat box if it's clear? Okay, great. Now, before going anywhere else, I asked you a very simple question in last class that what is an OS? So can anyone repeat for me? Can anyone give me a definition in the chat screen box, please? What is an OS? Keep on saying, right? We have Windows OS, we have Mac OS, we have Linux OS, but what is actually OS is? Simple question. Okay. So what is an OS? Very simple definition. OS is a system software that manages computer hardware, software, and provides common services for computer programs. Okay, so OS is a basic software that is built for us where it controls or it manages a computer hardware, software, and provides common services. For example, when you open a laptop, everything is getting connected automatically, right? But that is not automatically, that is because of OS that you are using. So your motherboard, your RAM, your everything getting restarted, right? That's because of operating system. So operating system is nothing but it's a software which will help to manage all kind of stuff for you. For example, any kind of resources. Now, right now you are using Zoom, right? How this Zoom is managed behind the scene, you don't have to care about it. Why? Because operating system is already taking a care about it. Okay, so this is what you mean by operating system. My next question is, what is programming language? What is programming language? Okay, so programming language is nothing but it is a set of instructions that is given to a computer to perform a task. Okay, see the example here. So this area, we are giving an instruction to a programming language, that is Python, that please print Afsan on the screen. So what we are giving, what our task was to print Afsan on the screen. So for that, what we are doing is we are writing a syntax here, or we are writing an instruction here that, okay, please print Afsan on the screen. And once you do it, and once you execute it, you will see the desired output what you wanted. So basically, programming language is nothing but it's a set of instruction that is given to perform a task or to get a task done. Okay, so this is what you mean by programming language. Now, my next question was, how many types of programming language do we have? How many types of programming language that we have? Okay, so we have two types of programming language. One is high level language, and other one that we have is a low level language. Okay, so first one that we have is a high level language, and second one that we have is a low level language. So till here, everyone is clear, including Kirtana and Ranjan. And one more thing, guys, if you have any doubts, this is for Kirtan and Ranjana, guys. If you have any doubts now, don't hesitate. Try to ask 10 times, 100 times, 200 times. There is no problem. Okay, because this class is meant for you guys only. So don't hesitate. Okay, if you want me to stop in between and explain again, I will do that. But the only problem what I will have is if you don't ask a doubt. Okay, so please ask it out. I will be happy, you will also be happy. Okay, so please ask it out if anywhere you are seeing that, okay, I'm not understanding it or I'm not getting it. Okay, now programming language can be divided into two parts. One is high level language and one is low level language. Now let's try to understand high level language and low level language in a little bit details. Okay, so the first thing that I will talk about is high level language, or HLL, that is high level language. Now, high level language are those language which can be understood by a programmer. So basically, you can say that it is a programmer friendly message. It is a programmer friendly language. Okay, whereas Low level language, it is a, okay, so this is programmer friendly, and low level language, that is LLL, it is a machine friendly language. See, simple thing. We can understand English. Okay, we can understand English, but what kind of language does your laptop understand? Does anyone knows? Yes, your laptop can only understand the language of 0 and 1. That's it. Your laptop will not understand anything else apart from 0 and 1s. Okay, and so this is the low level language. This is what our machine can understand. This is a high level language. This is what we can understand. For example, I have written print and Afsan. So I know that what I'm doing here. So I want to print Afsan on the screen. So what I'm doing here is I'm doing print and Afsan. So see, this language is understood by us, but this language is understood only by the machine. So high level language examples are Java, Python, C, C++, then you have JavaScript, okay, then you have Node.js, and n number of that. Okay, so whatever language you know, okay, where you can code something, that is called as a high level language. Example for low level languages, assembly language. Okay, so there is a language called as assembly language where you have to code in a machine friendly order. Okay, now among this high level language and low level language, which we human prefer, which we will prefer among this? Okay, so we prefer high level language over a low level language. If you want to be, if you want me to ask why, sir, why like this, let's try to see a real time demonstration of this. Okay, so let's say I have to add two numbers. I have to add two numbers. So what I will do is I will do a is equal to 10, b is equal to 20, and inside and c is equal to a plus b. And if I do print c, can anyone tell me if I execute this, what will be the output of this? Very simple. Simple mathematics. This is what you have been doing since your higher secondary, right? So you take a 10, you take a equal to 10, b equal to 20, and c is equal to a plus b. Now when I do print c, what will happen? This 10 and 20 will be added and it will be stored in C, and you are printing C. So output will be 30. So see how quickly you have written the answer, right? So this is what we call as high level language. Now let's try to achieve the same thing in a low level language. In a low level language. But before understanding this low level language, everyone just look at your keyboard. Just scan your keyboard with your eyes. Okay. Once you have scanned your keyboard through your eyes, so I want to ask a simple question. On the keyboard also the alphabets are given, right? Alphabet, numbers, tabs, caps lock, everything is given. But wait, I have told you that computer cannot understand this kind of languages, right? So how it understands that we are pressing A, we are pressing F, we are pressing S, we are pressing A, N. How it gets to know that? Anyone knows? Excellent. Excellent. Okay. So guys, there is something called as Ascii table. Ascii table. So if I come here, if I open this for you, okay. Now this ASCII table, ASCII stands for American Standard Code for Information Interchange. Okay. So this is a code you can think of which is common throughout the world, which is universal. Okay. The meaning of universal is wherever you go in this world, this ASCII table will remain same. It will not change. Okay. So what is ASCII table is every keyboard that you can see on your every keys that you can see on your keyboard has given a unique number. For example, when you press A, for you it's A, but for computer it is 97. Okay, for G 103, for H 104. So whatever keys you can see on your keyboard, every number has a unique representation, and this is called as ASCII table. Okay, so what we'll do is let's try to convert this code into a form of 0 and 1s. Okay, so let's say first we have to convert this A into its ASCII form. So everyone, okay, I'm just copying this and pasting in the chat box. Everyone, you can open the screen, please. The link, you can open the link. Or else what I will do is, I will paste here also. And I will give this link to you. So I can, so guys, you can open a code share and you can keep in a new tab, because whatever link I will be doing, I will be pasting here. So you can just copy this link and you can paste in the browser. For example, you can copy like this and paste in the browser. Okay. So my simple question is, what is the ASCII value of A? What is the ASCII value of A from the table, please? Okay, so if I come here and if I see the ASCII value of A, that is small a, please note this, small a is 97. Okay, so when it goes behind the scene, this A gets converted to 97. But still, is this 97 is represented in a form of 0 and 1? No, right? So we have to convert this 97 into a binary form. We have to convert this 97 into a binary form. So how to convert this? Very simple. Okay, so there's a formula that we have to use. And the formula is this. So you take 97. Okay, you take 97 and you keep on dividing this 97 by 2. For example, when you divide 97 by 2, what is the quotient that we get? What is the quotient that we get, guys? 48. Correct? Now, when I get 48, what is the remainder I am getting? I am getting remainder as 1. Correct? Now, the next step, what you have to do is you have to divide this 2 by, you have to divide this 48 by 2 now. So this 48, if you divide by 2, it is 24. What is the remainder? Remainder is 0. Okay. Then again divide this 24 by 2. So 24, 1 and 2. The answer is 0. Then again 2, 6. the answer is 0. 2, 3, the answer is 0. And 2, 1, the answer is 1. Now, when you see your quotient, that is 1, is smaller than 2, you have to stop. Because you cannot divide more further, right? So this is the last step that you can go up to. Okay. So once you have achieved this, simply what you have to do is you have to just write this in a reverse order. You have to just write this remainder in a reverse order. So if I write this in a reverse order, what the answer that I get is 1, 1, 0, 0, 0, 0, 1. So this is the answer that I will get at the end. Now this is the language that a computer understands. This is the language that I will understand. Clear to everyone till here? How to convert anything into binary form now? Okay, very simple. First, you have to search what equal to stands for. So what is the number for equal to? The number for equal to is 61. Correct? So 61. Now this 61 you have to convert into binary form. 61 you have to convert into binary form. So once you convert the 61 to binary form, what I can see from a chat box is, okay, everyone is giving me different answers. Okay, no problem. Let me try to solve it. So 61, and then you have to divide by 2. Correct? 30. Remainder is 1. Then 2, 15. Remainder is 0. 2, 7. Correct? The remainder is 1. 2, 3. The remainder is 1. 2, 1. The remainder is 1. So if you write this in a reverse order, this is the answer that you will get. That is 1, 1, 1, 0, 1. Sorry, 3 ones, 4 ones, 1, 1, 1, 0, 1. Okay. Now, similarly, you have to do this for B also, you have to do for C also, and plus also. Now, you only think, now I have given you practically, right? Now, you only think for you, which will be more convenient. This is more convenient or this is more convenient? Which one is more convenient and fast way to write a code? You only decide now. I'm not forcing anything on you. Okay, so as you can see, high level language is more preferable than a low level language. Okay, great. Okay. So we understand a high level language. Your machine understands a low level language, correct? So my simple question is, there should be something to make a conversation between my language and laptop language, right? So that simple. When you go to Russia, there's an interpreter that sits here, right? So whatever you say, the interpreter converts into the Russian language, correct? Here also, whatever we are saying, that has to be converted into a machine language, right? Does anyone knows that what converts a high level language to a low level language? Okay, so the simple question is, we need to convert, not we need to convert actually, but high level language gets converted into a low level language, because at the end of the day your laptop has to understand what you are writing, right? Now how this is achieved? This is achieved with the help of two things. One is compiler and one is interpreter. Okay, one we have something called as compiler, and one we have something called as interpreter. Now, both compiler and interpreter converts your high level language into a low level language. But how it converts it, it's a different thing. Okay. For example, what I mean by saying that is I will take a same code here, copy and paste. So this is, let's say this is a case of compiler. Copy and I will get a new shell and paste it. This is, let's say, interpreter. So what happens in compiler is, the whole code, this whole code gets converted to a low level language and then it is getting executed. Again, I will repeat, this whole code what you have written from line number 2 to 5, this whole code together will be converted to a low level language and then it will be executed by your computer program behind the scene. Okay, how to convert low level language? The same technique which we were doing manually right now, divide by 2, the same technique is used. But of course, it's a machine, so it will be much more faster than what we are thinking. Okay, so this is what a compiler is. Now in an interpreter, what happens is one by one everything will happen. So first it will check this line. So this line will be converted to a low level language. Once this line is converted to a low level language, then it will be executed. If this execution is successful, then only it will execute the next line. So then this line will be executed to a low level language and then it will be executed. Then if the execution is correct, it will move to this particular line. And again, same thing, low level language and executed. Here, low level language and executed. So the difference between a compiler and an interpreter is compiler will execute everything at once in a low level language and then it will execute it. Whereas the interpreter, everything line by line gets converted to a low level language, it is executed. If everything is good, then next line is executed. Then the next line, then the next line. So the job is same. The job is to convert a high level language to a low level language. Correct? But how these two things does is a different thing. And this is what I'm talking about. In a compiler, everything at once. In interpreter, one by one. Is that clear to everyone? For this, I need an answer from all the 13 participants. Even the new participants also, Kirtana and Ranjan. Okay, great. So this is about a basics of Python, guys. This is what we have in the basics of Python. So basically, you have understood that how programming languages are used behind the scene. Okay, great. I will. So if anyone has a doubt, if anyone has a question, either raise your hand or you can ping your doubt in your chat screen box. If you raise your hand, then I will give a chance to speak. So you can speak and whatever you want to ask, please ask. The next topic is why Python is the best programming language that we have. Why Python is considered as one of the best programming language. So you can give your answer in a chat screen box and I will keep on writing here. So anyone, why do you think Python is among the famous languages that we have? What is the reason for it? Okay, the first point which I can see is simple syntax. Okay. Less code is the second thing that we can see. Third one is what? It's dynamic and act as a okay. So okay, that way also you can say, or there's something called as dynamic typed also. Okay, so okay. So guys, there's something called as dynamic typed. Okay, I will tell you what is this dynamic typed language. Anything else? Simanchal has given me something called multiple libraries. Okay, great. So libraries. So literally we have 100 plus libraries. What do you mean by libraries, guys? When I say I have 100 plus libraries, what do you mean by that? Okay, so library is nothing but a set of code which is already written for you. Okay, it's a set of code which is already written for you. You have to just use them. That's it. So, for example, if I tell you to add to suppose let's say you have a matrix and you want to multiply that two matrix. So you don't have to write the code from starting. No, you can just use the advantage of libraries, and the same thing you can achieve in seconds instead of in 1 or 2 hours. That is the importance of libraries. So libraries is nothing but it's a function that is already given to you, or a piece of code that is already given to you so that you can reuse without writing the code again. Okay, that this makes a Python a very useful language because of this reason also. Okay, reason number 5. Reason number 5, guys. So when you downloaded Python in your laptop, did you paid something, or it was for free, or what do you think? Exactly. So Python is open source. The meaning of open source is that you can use this particular software without paying anything or without any licensing. This is free to use. Okay. Any more? Okay. So we have a lot and lot of ML libraries here. So we can easily code ML in Python as compared to other languages. Okay. So that is because of libraries. I think that will be covered here itself. See, once our open source is a software, okay, let's say you have a problem with that software. Okay, you have a problem with that software. So can you contact a Python service center, or sorry, not service center, call center, or you can ask them that I have this problem? Or can you call a Python support team and ask them that I have this problem? No, right? Because it's an open source. We don't have this kind of features here. So once a software is an open source, we have something called as community support. And Python has a very high community support. So what do you mean by community support is that, for example, let's take me. So what I'm doing, I'm helping you guys, right, to understand Python. Similarly, in this world, there are thousands and thousands of developers which are active on the website, which can help you with whatever problem you have. Okay, so this is what you mean by high community support. Okay, last but not the least, we can do anything with Python. What I mean by anything is we can create a web application, we can create a desktop application, we can create games, we can create mobile applications. Literally, we can create any of the application with the help of Python. There is nothing that we cannot do. Okay, so this is the one more important thing. And last but not the least, it can work on, so it can work on any platform or any OS, you can say. Let it be Mac OS, let it be Linux, let it be Windows. It can work on any OS. These are the 8 reasons. Okay, these are the 8 reasons that we have that has made a Python a very popular language nowadays. Okay, a very, very important language nowadays. Okay. So let's try to understand each one of them in details. Okay. The first one which I would like to explain is dynamically typed language. Okay. Now people who has come from a Java background or C background, okay, people who has migrated themselves from one language to another language, what we have is, okay, so in C++ or Java, what we have to do, no, whenever you want to define a variable, so you have to tell it prior only that what that variable will hold. For example, if I want to write right now, see here, see this example. I have written a is equal to 10, right? So this 10 is something called as integer data type. Now this 10, we have to tell other languages that okay, this a can only store a integer data type. So this part you have to give prior only. Once you have given this, this cannot store anything else, neither a string nor any kind of data type. Okay. For example, let's say if we are having a variable and we want to store a float in that variable. So you have to write float b is equal to 20. Similarly, for all the variables, you have to tell prior only that what it will store. And due to this feature, Java code was becoming a bit tedious. Okay. Now what Python people have done is they have used something called as dynamic type language. So they have removed this. Okay. This kind of thing is called as statically type language. Why statically? Because we are defining prior only that what this will be stored. In this, what will be stored? We are telling prior only, right? So the problem here is we cannot store anything other than this. That was a problem in the statically type language. In a dynamic type language, simple example is here. Copy and paste. Very simple example, see. So you don't have to mention anything that what this A will store. So whatever you are giving to A, this A will automatically understand that which type of data type it is, and it will automatically convert itself into that data type. So if this is 10, 10 is an integer data type, right? So this A will be automatically convert to an integer data type. One more example. If I am writing 10.20, so this A will automatically be convert to floating data type. This is what you called as dynamically typed language. It doesn't matter whatever value you give here, automatically this A will be converted into that data type. But here you have to tell prior only that what this will store, and you can only store that. So this has made a Python a very, very famous language. So this is one of the reasons that we have. So point number 3 is clear to everyone. A chat screen, please. Second point. Okay, simple syntax. So Python is very easy to use. Okay, so simple thing I will tell you. Okay, if you are from any other programming language, no, then Python you will learn within a second. Okay, because Python is that simple. If you're from, let's say, Java background or C background or any kind of background, and if you're migrating to Python, you will find out that Python is much, much more easier and you will learn faster. Okay, because of this simple, easy to use, simple syntaxes. Okay, easy to use. See the example here only. When you want to print something, you are writing print and you are writing something there. So if you see, it is making more readable for us, right? That we want to print something on the screen. So print Afsan and see Afsan is printed. So this is what you mean by simple syntax. Let's code. Okay. So I will not explain you this. What I will do is I will write a code here. Okay. So I will write a same code in C, I will write the same code in Java, and I will write the same code in Python. Now you only decide which one is better. Okay, so let me write it quickly. So in a C, you write hash include. Guys, you don't have to understand the code here. Okay, that is not a main purpose. Just see the number of lines that I am writing here. Okay. Then we have int main, then arc. You have to use character, and then you have to use arguments. Let me use that. Then print f, and whatever you want to write. So you want to write hello world, so you can write hello world. Okay, this is the number of lines that you have to use in C. The same thing, if I want to print hello world on the screen, this is what I have to do. So okay, public static, let's say public, then I will draw a class that is, let's say, hello. Then after this, what I will do is I will do public static void main string so system dot out dot println, and I will write here, let's say, hello world. Okay, in Python, print hello world. That's it, guys. Now you only decide here. We have C, we have Java, and we have Python. Now you only decide which one was having a easy syntax and less code among these three. So if you see, if you compare against C and Java, Python is easy to use, simple syntax, and very less line of code. As you can see here, we have 5 or 6 lines of code here. Same goes with this also, but in Python we have just only 1 line of code. Okay, so this is what less code means. Okay, then we have 100+ libraries. Okay, so basically ready to use code. That's what you mean by libraries. So basically for everything we have a library in Python. Okay, literally for everything we have a library in Python. So you can just take advantage of it and you can do a very fast coding. Okay, so ready to use code. Then we have something called as open source. So free to use. So the meaning of open source is anyone from anywhere can download this particular package or the programming language. That is what you mean by open source. High community support. The meaning of this is, let's say you have some kind of doubt regarding a coding. So you cannot ask a support team for this, right? So what you can do is, there are lot of communities. For example, we have something called as Stack Overflow. We have something called as GitHub. We have something called as Geeks for Geeks. So there are large number of communities which will help you. For example, add two numbers in Python. Okay, and just search for this. So you will see there will be n number of communities which will be helping you with that. Okay, so whenever you are stuck somewhere now, use Google. Trust me, Google has all the answers for you for Python. The reason is because of the high community support. Okay, that's what you mean by high community support. We can do anything. The meaning of this is literally we can make any kind of software out of this. So websites, for example, Google, Quora, YouTube, Instagram, These are the websites that are made using Python text. So you have a live example that how smooth the softwares are. So these are the websites that you have, which is used in Python behind the scene. Desktop application. Okay, desktop application, nothing but the calculator that you can see, the calendar that you can see. Okay, everything is made using Python. Then games. One of the famous game, that is PUBG Desktop. It is made on Python. Battlefield. It is made on Python. Okay. Mobile softwares. For example, TV is made on Python. Then InShot is made on Python. Okay. So as you can see, a very famous things are already in Python. So why will you not trust Python there? Okay. So that is the reason. That is point number 7. And last but not the least, it can be used anywhere. So right now, let's take an example in this class only. In this class, some people will be using Mac, some people will be using Linux, some people will be using Windows OS, right? So we can use this Python in any language. Now, these are the one of the top 8 regions that we have where Python becomes a very popular language. So all the 8 points is clear to each one of you. Now, what we have covered till here is we were understanding that what is a programming language, how laptop understands the language, basis of programming, right? Let's try to get our hand dirty on this. Okay, so I want everyone to, whatever I'm coding now, so I will be going very slow. So I want everyone to practice this coding behind the scene with me. Why? Because you can ask me a doubt then and there. Instead of waiting for 7 days and asking me a doubt, you can ask me a doubt then and there. So it will be very quick for you also, guys. Okay. So let's say I want to add 2 numbers in Python. So what you will do? You will take 2 plus 3. Okay, because you have 2 numbers, 2 plus 3, and execute this. How to execute this? Just click on this run button. Once you click on this run button, you will see answer as 5. So you are executing it. The second way is what you can do is you can store this 2 in a variable. So we were used to do in mathematics, right? Let the value of x be 2. Let the value of y be 3. Adding 2 and 3. Remember that kind of statement that we used to write? On the same lines, we can do here also. A is equal to 3. B is equal to 4. And I want to add 2 numbers. So print A plus B. Execute it. And you will get the answer as 7. And you will get the answer as 7. Okay. Now, I want to ask you a very simple question. We have written A is equal to 3. So my question is, what is A? What is equal to and what is 3 here? Okay, very simple. A is a variable. Equal to is an operator. And 3 is a value. So what we are doing is we are taking a value and we are assigning it to A variable. Okay, so that's exactly what we are doing here. Okay, great. My second question is this a valid code? Justify your answer. Why you're saying that? If you're saying no, justify your answer. If you're saying yes, justify your answer. So is this a valid code? Or something is wrong here in this code? Okay, so if I execute it, there is no problem. Okay, there is no problem. So the point what I'm trying to make here is that this variable, whatever name you can take here, okay, so it's totally up to your choice. That whatever name you want to take, you can take in this variable. But there are some rules that you have to maintain, guys. There are some rules that you have to maintain. And the rules are called as identifiers. So identify is nothing but any name that is given to let's say a variable, any name given to a function, any name given to a class is called as identifiers. But when I say any name, there are some rules that you have to follow before giving the names. And the rules are something like this. So rule number 1, your variable can contain only alphabets from A to Z, capital A to Z, 0 to 9 and underscore. So this variable, what you're writing here, can be only be consist of these 4 things. Either a mixture of that or however you want to do it, you can do it, but it can only contain these things only. Example. So guys, you have to tell me by reading this that which one is valid, which one is invalid. Okay. So I have given you few variable names here. So you have to tell me which one is invalid. Just write the line numbers. Okay. Just write the line numbers at 3, 6, 10. They are invalid. So which ones are invalid and which ones are valid? So I want you guys to give me these 2 answers. So if you see here, Afsan, this is valid. This is also valid. This is also valid. This is also valid. This is invalid. This is also invalid. And this is also invalid. Okay, I hope everyone's answer was matching here. Okay, great. Now, what you have noticed is that special characters, underscore, sorry, not underscore, hyphen, hash, @ is not allowed. This automatically makes us understand the second point, that special characters are not allowed. Okay. Third point, cannot start with a digit. It can contain a digit, but it cannot start with a digit, guys. Okay. So what I mean, so for special characters, examples, see, copy, I will copy it and I will paste it. Same example. Then cannot start with a digit. So it cannot start with anything from 0 to 9. Copy, paste. So if you say Afsan 07, it's okay. But when you say 07 Messi, this is not okay. Okay. When you say 10 Messi, sorry. When you say 10 Messi, it is not okay. Because it can contain a number, but it should not start with a number. If you do that, the same thing will be given by the Python. That is, so for example, let's say if you do Afsan 7 equal to 100, and here you do 10 Messi is equal to 100 and execute it. Python will straightforward give an invalid syntax output. See, if you are violating any of these rules, sorry, invalid syntax. And see exactly what I am seeing here. See. So that is point number 3. Point number 4. It can be of any length. Okay, this variable name, what you are using, it can be of any length. What I mean by that is that you can use something like this. There is no problem. It can be of any length equal to 1. There is no problem with that. Execute it and it will accept it happily. So it can be of any length. Point number 5. It is case sensitive. It is case sensitive. So copy and paste it. So the meaning of case sensitive is very simple. You take A equal to 10 and you take capital A is equal to 20. So if I do, let's say print A, what will be the output? Output will be 10. Very straightforward. If I do capital A here, what will be the output? Answer will be 20 here. Okay. So what I'm trying to tell here is, even though small a and capital A means the same thing in English language, but in Python, it will be treated as a two different variable. Okay. Try to remember this. One more example I will take. If I'm writing, let's say, tutort is equal to 10. Same I'm writing tutort is equal to 200. Even though if you spell it, tutort, both means the same thing, but a small slight in any character, it makes a two different variable. And that's what you mean by case sensitive. So this is different and this is different. Why? Because this is small t and this is capital T. Any difference makes it as a different variable. That's what you mean by case sensitive. Okay. Last, sixth one, we cannot use reserved words or keywords. Does anyone know what you mean by reserved words or keywords? Okay, so reserved words or keywords is nothing but there are some of the words that is already taken by Python for some internal use. For example, if, for. Okay, so these are the words which are taken already by Python for some internal purposes. So these kind of words you cannot use. So if you want to know what are these words, so copy this. Where are you? Copy, paste here. So if you want to know which are the keywords that are already taken by Python, so what you can do is you can import keywords and you can do print keywords dot keyword list and execute it, and you will see all the keywords here. You will see all the keywords here. So these keywords you cannot use in Python. You are not allowed to use in Python. Okay, and these are the 6 rules that you have to follow, guys. So before moving forward, all the 6 rules are clear to each one of you. What is the reason for not use? See what happens, Payal, no? They have written some kind of logic behind the scene for this keyword, right? If you try to use that keyword, then this logic will not, it will be overwritten, right? If you try, for example, if you do a is equal to 100 and a equal to 100, so what is happening if I do print a? It is getting overwritten by the new language, right? So then this purpose is gone now. So if anyone in the program you want to use this, and you cannot use it, right? So that's why you're not allowed to use it. Got it, Payal? Logic? Okay, perfect. Now what I will do is, I will give you 15 to 20 variable names and you have to tell me which one is valid and invalid. Okay. So among this, you have to tell me which are invalid. You have to tell me only which are invalid. So I will only write which one is invalid. So this is valid. This one is invalid. Okay. Valid, invalid, invalid. Okay. This will be invalid. This will be invalid. This will be valid. This will be valid. This will be invalid. This will be valid. This will be invalid. And this will be invalid. So these are the variable names which are invalid. So anyone has a doubt? Sir, why 7, why 9, why 10, why 11? Yeah, Simanchal, if you see here, I have told you if, right? And I have if here. See? But what I have told you, case sensitive, remember? So this if And this if is different, right? Because this is capital I, case sensitive, not small I. Got it? So this one is valid. No, see, then false is capital F I'm written, right? And capital F false is a keyword, Nikhil. If I would have written small f, then yes, then this is valid. But I have written capital F here. It's invalid, right? Because that's a keyword. 14. Yes, what you have doubt in 14 file? Why this is valid? That's what your point is. Yeah, there is a 0. So if you remember, it can contain anything from this to this, right? It can contain anything from this to this. So this is valid. This is valid. Yeah, even though if you there is O replaced with 0, so it doesn't matter. It's our choice how we want to write it. So yeah, this is valid. So guys, let me tell you. Okay, now you will be saying, sir, 3 hours classes, why waiting for 2 hours? The answer is very simple. That still your Python is not started. This is a basic Python that I am starting right now. So this special classes will be only of 2 to 2 hours. Once this special class is over, then your class will be of 3 hours. Okay, so that's the reason here. So I hope everyone is enjoying the session. I hope everyone is liking my way of teaching and everyone is understanding everything. I hope so. Okay, if you have any feedback, if you want to tell me anything, you are always welcome to do so. All right, guys. So guys, then I will stop here. I will see you guys tomorrow then. Bye everyone. Take care. Have a great day. Bye everyone.